Good afternoon, this is Mrs. Buckley's Tea Chest once again. We'd like to start the program right off with a song by Ian Tyson called Red Velvet.
On a day coach she came down, and the dusty autumn winds began to blow. Should've known I couldn't hold her, living out so far from town, where the nights are long to come and slow to go. If only I'd have known when we first kissed, you can't keep red velvet on a portered farm like this. Now she's up and left me, she's walking down the line, and the dusty autumn winds begin to blow. All dressed up in red velvet, with her high heels on so fine, and the nights are long to come and slow to go. I'd have known when we first cried, you can't keep red velvet, and God knows that I tried. Now she's up and left me, she's walking down the line, and the dusty autumn winds begin to blow. All dressed up in red velvet, with her high heels on so fine, the nights are long to come and slow to go. If only I'd have known when we first kissed, you can't keep red velvet on a beat up farm like this. So I'll call my dog and take my truck, drive on into town, where the nights are long to come and slow to go. I call my dog and take my truck, drive on into town, where the nights are long to come and slow to go.
We're happy to have Wayne Bransfield on the show today, and he's going to play some 5-string banjo music for you, with John Stegman backing him up on the bass, a thing called No Place Like Home. Let's go down east to the Maritimes, and we've got a folk song called The Shoals of Hearing. It's done for you by Ken Lamb.
Night and day we're sailing on the wailing wasteful ocean. It's out there on the deep that we harvest our bread as we hunt the bonny shoals of heaven. It was on a fair and a pleasant day out of Yarmouth Harbour I was faring as a cabin boy on a sailing lugger for to hunt the bonny shoals of heaven. Oh, we left our home ground in the month of June, and for Cardi Shields we soon were bearing with 100 crowns of the silver garlands that we taken from the shores of Erin. Oh, the work was hard and the hours were long, and the treatment sure it took some bearing, and I used to sleep standing on me feet, and I dream about the shoals of Erin. Now you're up on deck, you're a fisherman, and you're learning all about seafaring. That's your education, scraps of navigation, as you hunt the bonny shoals of Erin. In the stormy seas and the living gales, aye, and in the gear that I was wearing, from the Straits of Dover to the Faroe Islands, we were hunting for the shores of Erin. Night and day we're faring on the wild and wasteful ocean, sweating and cold, rowing up, rowing as we hunt the bonny shoals of Erin.
Wayne's back again with the 5-string banjo, and he'd like to dedicate this song to all the members of the Canadian Legion. It's called Foggy Mountain Breakdown. many songs written about a crooked gambler. This next song, the Cuckoo song, is about a gambler who dealt 5 aces. Someone found him out.
Oh, the cuckoo, she's a pretty bird. Warbles as she flies, and she never says cuckoo till the 4th day of July, till the 4th day of July. And I see, yes I see, on the 4th day of July, I've gambled down in Frisco, I've gambled all up in Maine, and I've gambled with 5 aces. Lord, I've gambled my last game. Yes, I've gambled my last game. And I see, yes, I see, on the 4th day of July, on the 4th day of July. I'll pawn you my braces, my gold watch and my chain. I'll pawn you most anything to hear the cuckoo's voice again, to hear that cuckoo's voice again. And I see, yes I see, on the 4th day of July. And I see, yes I see, on the 4th day of July, on the 4th day of July, on the 4th day of
In case you were wondering, Mrs. Buckley is a non-profit, very loosely organized community service program. It's been brought to you for 11 weeks by radio station CKKC as a community service. Recently, another Nelson business concern has come forward to help the program out a bit. We're talking about Fred Merriman at 560 Baker Street, and he's helping us musicians with some of our equipment. So we'd like to advise you that if you need some help with your instruments, if you need some advice, some repairs, some new strings, hop upstairs and see Fred at 560 Baker. He can help you out. He's got lots of stuff there on his walls, in his shelves, or in his catalogs. So drop up and see him. Tell him thank you for helping us out with the program, and see if there's any way he can help you.
one of his own compositions called Ground Speed. Now here's Ken Lamb to do the South Coast, the Wild Coast.
The South Coast, the Wild Coast is lonely. You may win in a game at home, but the lion still rules the Broncos, and a man there is always alone. My name is Juan Janos de Castro. My father was a Spanish grandee, and I won my wife in a card game. To hell with the lords of the sea. I picked up the east, I had won her. My heart which was down at my feet jumped up to my throat in a hurry. Like a warm summer's day, she was sweet. South Coast, the Wild Coast is lonely. You may win in a game at home, but the lion still rules the Broncos, and a man there is always alone. I saddled my pony like lightning. We rode up the hill from the south. Not a word did I have from her that day, nor a kiss from her pretty red mouth. We came to my cabin at twilight. The stars twinkled out on the coast. She soon loved the valley, the orchard, but I knew that she loved me the most. Then I got hurt in a landslide, with crushed hip and twice broken bone. He saddled my pony like lightning, rode off in the night for alone. The lion screamed in the Broncos, the pony fell back on his side. My young wife lay dead in the moonlight. My heart died that night with my bride. The South Coast, the Wild Coast is lonely. You may win in a game at home, but the lion still rules the Broncos, and a man there is always alone. I've a nice little house and a cow or two of grass, a planted garden running by me door. I've a shelter for me hens and a stable for me horse. What could a man want more? I don't know, maybe so. Oh, a bachelor is easy and he's free, but I've lots to look after though I'm living all alone, and nobody's looking after me. My father often tells me I should go and have a try to find a girl who's got a bit of land. And I know by how he says it that there's someone on his mind, and my mother has the whole thing planned. Will I go? I don't know. What would mollify and gravely to agree? Oh, there's little Bridget Flynn, sure it's her I'd like to win, but she never has an eye for me. Now there's a little girl who's worth her weight in gold, and that's a decent married old, you see. And I mean to go and ask her just as soon as I get home if she'll come and have an eye for me. Will she go? I don't know, but I love to have her sitting on me knee. And I'd sing like a thrush in a hawthorn bush if she'd only have an eye for me.
Last song was a traditional Irish ballad. Now I'd like to end the show with Wayne singing Long Black Veil.
Years ago, on a cold dark night, there was someone killed 'neath the town hall light. There was few at the scene, but they all agree that the slayer who ran looked a lot like me. And the judge said, son, what is your alibi? For if you tell me, you won't have to die. But I spoke not a word, although it meant my life, for I was there in the arms of my best friend's wife. And she walks these hills in a long black veil and visits my grave as the night winds wave. Nobody knows, nobody sees, nobody knows about me. The scaffold was high, eternity near. She stood in the crowd, shed not a tear. But sometimes at night, when that cold, cold wind blows in her long black veil, she cries on my bones. And she walks these hills in a long black veil and visits my grave as the night winds wave. Nobody knows, nobody sees, nobody knows about me. No, nobody knows about me.
It's time for Mrs. Buckley's Guitar Workshop again. Brought to you this week, as every week, by Fred at Merriman's, 563rd Baker, behind the checkerboard. We promised you last week we'd get on to music, and that's just what we're doing. The little tune I played at the beginning was an original composition, quite familiar, but just out of my own head, and I did it to illustrate the fact that history shows us that over the long hundreds of years of history, it's not performers that we remember, it's composers. Think of the last 1,000 years of music, and you won't think of any great names of performers except those of our own time. It's names like Beethoven, Mozart, Scarlatti, etc. Now, there's something basically fundamental human about this, and that's the reason we're emphasizing the note playing of guitars. Have you memorized the fret numbers? I've started my little tune on the 12th fret on the first string, which is where the body joins the neck. The guitar is an instrument based on a few simple keys. A, E, D, and G are the easy ones to start out with. I'm playing an E note, that's a high Do. And the tune that I played just used the scale. Now, maybe it sounds hard to you. If you could see it, it would be quite easy, and I'm going to try to explain the mathematics of how we do it. That's using 3 frets on that first string. That's Do, Ti, La. 12, 11, 9. The next 3 notes of the scale, 12, 10, 9 on the second string, and 11, 9 on the third string. Okay, can I hear just how that sounds, Peter, and sort of... It's workshop time again, brought to you by Fred at Merriman's, 560 Baker, behind the checkerboard. Last week we warned you, memorize those fret numbers, learn those string numbers. A few key concepts to start out with. Today we're working with the scale of E. The guitar is an instrument that works better in some scales than it does in others, although later we'll talk about the capo, which makes it possible for you to play any scale. Today we're talking about E. That note I'm hitting is the high E. That's on the 12th fret of the first string. If you can't count quickly, then look where the neck of your guitar joins the body. If you play down that first string, 12, 11, 9, you've got 3 notes of the scale. Shift to the second string and play down the 12th fret, the 10th fret, the 9th fret. Shift to the third string, play on the 11th fret and the 9th fret. That's a scale. That's 8 notes. You've got enough to do your own composing with. And history shows that it's not the performers that we remember hundreds of years afterwards, it's the composers. Remember those few points? Tune in next week and we'll do more work on the Guitar Workshop, brought to you by Merriman's, 560 Baker, behind the checkerboard.